Hello everybody, we are going to be having a look and starting a game today very similar to the one that the current Year 6s who are in school are playing. It's to get you ready for paying tax, it's to get you ready for earning, it's to get you ready for working out how much you have to pay a month on things like gas, electric, food, all that type of stuff. It's to get you ready for all that, and it's even to get you ready for having a little family of your own. I'm going to talk you through it as we go along. Everything that's up on the screen that you see, I will be putting beneath this video on the website. Okay? Right, let's have a look. So the first thing that's going to happen is you are going to randomly allocate yourself a marital situation. So that is a situation whether you're married, whether you've got any kids. So let's have a look. For example, if we have a go here. Now you could have lots of children, you could have one child, you could have no children, you could be married, you could be single. In this case, for argument's sake, you are going to be married, you've got a child, but they have moved out. So you don't need to worry about feeding that child. It is just you and your husband or wife and maybe a dog or a cat that lives in that house with you. Let's have a look at the randomly allocated job that you might get. Again, you can allocate yourself these jobs. This is just an example. So let's have a look at what job you might get. You could be a dentist. So you could be a dentist who has got one child that's moved out and a husband or a wife. Now, what you need to do next is work out how much money, or find out actually by doing research, roughly how much money you will earn in a year being a dentist. So you can Google average annual salary for a dentist, and that'll tell you roughly how much you will be earning a year. But what you've got to do then is figure out how much you would earn in a month. And not only how much you would earn in a month, but also how much money you would actually get to take home at the end of that month. Because, unfortunately for you, the money that you earn is not necessarily the amount of money that you get to take home. Because you have to pay something called tax. When I was 18, I got my first proper pay slip. I thought I was going to get loads and loads and loads of money, more money than I'd ever seen at one time before. I opened that pay slip and I saw that the tax man had taken 20% of what I thought I was going to get, and I was absolutely heartbroken. And I'm trying to save you that heartbreak by taking that money away from you now while it's imaginary, so that when it happens in real life in a few years' time, you won't be quite as disappointed as I was. So I'm going to show you some calculations. We're going to pretend that you earn £30,000 a year. Okay, put that up here. £30,000. Now, everybody gets £12,500 tax-free. So you can earn up to £12,500 and not pay a single penny. And tax pays for things like teachers, nurses, doctors, all of those type of things. So you get £12,500 tax-free. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with your £30,000 that you get paid, and you are going to take £12,500 away from that. So 0 take away 0, of course 0, 0 take away 0 again, that's 0. 0 take away 5, can we do 0 take away 5? No, of course we can't. So we're going to have to do an exchange, aren't we? Can we exchange from that? We can't, there's nothing to take, that's 0, there are no numbers there, that is a 0. So we can't take away from that, so we're going to exchange from this 3. This 3 becomes a 2. We've borrowed, we've exchanged, we've put the 1 there, but we still need to work with this one here, so we're going to exchange from that again. That 10 becomes a 9, we've got 10. 10 take away 5 is, of course, 5. Got our comma. 9 take away 2, that's 7, and 2 take away 1 is 1. So that's £17,500, and that is what's called your taxable income. So that's the amount of money that you earn that the government take 20% of, and that is called your tax. You pay that tax so that we can have public services, essentially. Okay, so the next thing you've got to do is you've got to figure out what's 20% of 17,500. So we'll do our percentages, we'll do it up here. 17,500. If we want to find 10%, we would divide that by 10, wouldn't we? Okay, so we've got 17,000, 17,500. If we're thinking about our place value, got our ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands. Thinking about our place value, if we're dividing that by 10, it gets 10 times smaller, so everything makes one jump this way, doesn't it? So our 0, so we'll put our decimal point back in, 0 will go to there, this 0 will go to here, the 5 will go to here, 7 will go into the hundreds, and the 1 will go into the thousands. That should be 7, shouldn't it? Sorry. So there is your 10%, 1,750. And now we want to find 20%. So if we've got 10%, what do we have to do to 10% to make it into 20%? That's right, we have to double it. So we're going to times that by 2. 0 times 2, cost 0, 2 times 5, 10, 2 times 7 is 14. What do we need to remember? The 1 to make 15. 2 times 1 is 2, add that 1, 3. So 20% is 3,500. So that is the amount of tax that you will pay to the government over the course of the year. So we go back to our original amount of money that we started with, which I believe was £30,000, right there. And we're going to take off the amount of tax that we pay over the full year. So that would be minus 3,500. Okay, so we'll take that away. And again, 0 take away 0 is 0, 0 take away 0 is 0, 0 take away 5. We can't do 0 take away 5. So can we exchange from that? No, we can't. There's nothing to exchange. Exchange from this, the 3 becomes a 2. That 0 becomes a 10. But we're exchanging from it, so that 10 becomes a 9. And that 0 becomes a 10. 10 take away 5, nice and easy. 5. 9 take away 3, that's of course 6. 2 take away nothing is 2. So that's how much money you will actually be paid at the end of, after the whole year. But you want to figure out how much you are going to get paid in a month. How many months are there in a year? That's right, there are 12 months in a year. So what will we divide this by to find out what you get in 1 month? That's right, you'll divide it by 12. So we're going to be doing £26,500 divided by 12. Okay, so how many 12s go into 2? Of course we can't make any groups of 12 out of 2. So 0 there, 2 goes to there. How many groups of 12 can we make out of 26? If you think about your 12 times table, we go 12, 24. So we can make 2 groups. And we were up to what? We were up to 24. So how many is left over? That's right, there are 2 left over. So now we've got how many 12s going to 25? Again, that's going to be 2, isn't it? And then there's 1 left over this time. How many 12s go into 10? None. No 12s go into 10. So we've got our 10 left over. Now, how many 12s will go into 100? Work your way through your 12 times table. I'll give you a moment. Hopefully you got that 12 times 8 is 96. So you've put your 8 there, and you've got your remainder of 4. We're not going to worry about the remainder today. So at the end of the month, you get to take home £2,208. £2,208. Not too bad. In real life, you would be paying for your pension, you would also be paying something called national insurance, but we're not going to worry too much about those for the sake of this. All you need to know is that, unfortunately, you don't get to take home every single penny that you earn. Some of it goes on public services. Now that you've worked out what your take-home pay is, the next thing you've got to do is figure out what you're going to spend it on. The first thing that you're going to do is look for a mortgage. You are going to buy a house. So you can have a look, and we recommend that you use a website called zoopla.co.uk. You can have a look for houses on there. We found this lovely house. Where is it? Well, this lovely house in Acklam in Middlesbrough. There it is. What a lovely home. Picture living there. Beautiful, great brickwork. And if you scroll down on Zoopla, you get all sorts of information, and these help with you calculating what's called your utility bill. Now, when you buy a house, you put down something that's called a deposit, and that is where you pay for a bit of the house up front with money that you've hopefully saved up, or that you maybe been given, or that you've maybe won on the lottery. Who knows where you get your deposit from these days, but you've got your deposit from somewhere, and that tends to be at least 10% of the overall value of the house. So this house, as you can see, is £229,950. They've paid a deposit of £22,995. And they are going to try and pay that mortgage off a little bit every month for 25 years. And then after 25 years, they will own that house, and they will be delighted because they don't have to pay their mortgage anymore. So their mortgage will be £887 per month. So you'll take that away from your monthly income. You'll take that away from your monthly income and see how much you've got left. See if you can afford the rest of your utility bills. And your utility bills are the things that you have to pay to keep going, really. So we've made a list, and you might need to pause to write some of these down. So we've got your mortgage, we've got your car. We've thought you could do monthly payments for the purposes of this game. We've got your car insurance, we've got your home insurance, we've got your council tax, we've got your gas and electricity, your water bill, your TV licence to pay for the BBC and all of the BBC related things, your broadband costs, filling up your car with petrol 2 times a month, paying for food, and paying for your mobile phone. So you're going to have to do some research on the internet. You're going to have to find out what the average food bill or what the average food spending is for a family of whatever size you've been allocated. You're going to have to look for a mobile phone that you can afford. You're going to have to look for broadband deals that you can afford. You're going to have to research how much does your TV licence cost a month. For some of the other things, like water, gas and electricity, council tax, home insurance, we can go back to Zoopla, and it actually tells us for a house, it actually tells us the averages for a house like the one that you've been looking at. So your energy, that's your gas and electricity, your home insurance, your water bill and your council tax, they've all been done for you. But that's not to say that you can't go and have a look and see if you can find a better deal. Okay, when we're thinking about a car, we recommend having a look at motors.co.uk, because that gives you loads of information. It helps you think of financing it. So that's if you buy a car and don't pay for it all up front. That's if you pay for it over the course of a couple of years or a few years, which is what we're going to do for the purposes of this game. So you can have a look at what your monthly payments would be. You can also have a look at how much it costs to fill up the petrol or the diesel on that car. You can also have a look at which insurance group it is, and if you go into that, it'll tell you more about how much your car insurance will be. So that's going to really help you with your car. The one that we're looking at there is a lovely silver Ford Fiesta. If that's what you're into, fantastic. The monthly payments don't stop there though. They are your boring essentials. You've also got the things that you want, the things that give you joy, the things that give you pleasure, your desirable things. And these are things you can only really have if you can afford them. And once you've worked out all of this, you'll see if you have any money left for some of these. So we've thought of Sky TV. Can you get a good deal on Sky? Do you need to watch the football? Do you need to watch the rugby or the wrestling or the, water polo? Netflix. We all love a bit of Netflix. I put Nelftix there, that's not a thing. Netflix, we all love a bit of Netflix. Now TV, do you want to watch things on demand? Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, PlayStation Network, Xbox Live, Spotify or Apple Music, and I'm sure you will be able to think of loads more. So you can work out all of these and you can see what you've got left at the end of every month. Now, the way that we're doing it in year 6 in school is we are seeing what we've got left at the end of every month and we are trying to save some money, and we are going to look in 6 months' time, in real life terms, it's going to be 6 weeks' time. Every week is a month, every day is a week. We're going to look in 6 months' time, have we saved up enough money to go on a holiday? That's what we're going to be looking for. Have we saved up enough money to go on a holiday? So you want to have a little bit of money left up to put into your savings account at the end of every month. Now, to give you a little bit of a start, because there's more that we're going to drop on you, to give you a little bit of a start, I'm going to say that you've all got £2,000 savings in your bank before you start to do anything. And I'm going to show you why you might need those savings, because every day, 4 days out of a week, I want you to click on one of these wheels. And these are the good or bad events wheels. Now, you might have a bad event, and you can toss a coin to see if you get a good or bad event spin. You might have a bad event, which costs you money, and your bad event might be bad example. That one wasn't supposed to be in the bad events. That was supposed to be in the good events. Your bad event might be... One of the kids has broken a window. That's £125. You've got to take that off what you've got left at the end of the month. That's money you can't save. But don't worry, you might have a good event. You might have a good event, such as... Good events also cost money, sadly. Buying an iPad, congratulations, you've bought an iPad, but you've got to take £350 away from your monthly bill. Lucky I gave you those savings. But don't worry, there are also ways that you can make money. And I'm going to put those up on the website. I forgot to load them up there, but we're 18 minutes into this video and I don't think you want to be kept much longer. So, once a week, once a real week, you can have a look and you can do a good event, you can do a money-making event, and you can decide whether you want to make that money. The only one that I really need to explain is the credit card, which means you can borrow up to £5,000, but whatever you borrow, you have to pay back at a later date, and you have to work out 17% of what you borrowed and add that onto what you pay back. So you pay back more than you borrowed. I would love to know what jobs you get, what family situations you get, and I would love to know what you're left with at the end once you've worked out all of these. So what you'll be left with after you've taken off your tax and after you've taken off your essential bills. I hope this has all made sense. It's something that we're doing with the kids in school and they're really, really enjoying it, I think. They seem to be, at least. Me and Miss Atkinson are really enjoying it because we've got some fantastic life events that we've dropped on them. So let us know what you get. Thanks for sticking with this video. If you're still watching at this point, congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back and ruffle your hair and just feel generally very proud that you are a good egg. That's enough from me. We're about to hit 20 minutes. I don't think I've spoken this much for about 10 weeks. See you later.